Hey, I want to talk with you guys this morning about time management and building your business. I know a lot of you guys, because your coach talked to me, are working full-time jobs. So it's a struggle with the balance between having a family, having a full-time job or some other role, and building the Team Beachbody business, right? We want to do all of them. We want to be the best at all of them. So there's this inner battle on where do I put my focus? Where do I put my mindset, and where do I put my energy so that I can create this business that I want? So I totally know what you feel like. I remember when I started, I was working every morning at 5 o'clock. I got home from work at 5 o'clock. My wife left at 3 o'clock and she got home at 11 o'clock. So that left our 3 little girls at the neighbor's house or at a friend's house from 3 to 5 every day, you know, with a babysitter. So that's what our lifestyle was like when I became a coach. So it's like, when do I find time? You know, I got to work out, I got to do personal development, I got to build a business, I got to help mentor others, and then I got to take care of these girls by myself while my wife's at work. And then I got to find some time to give my wife some time, and her love language is quality time, right? So how do I do this without my family falling apart? How do I do this in a way that I could be effective, efficient, make an impact on other people? So I want to give you just a few time management tips that worked for me, just relating with you how I felt. I did feel overwhelmed and stressed at times. So what really helped me overcome that was to be very clear on my end goal, my reason, how it would feel to get there. And my end goal at that time when I was building the business was to bring my wife home from work. So I understood, I knew how it would feel when she no longer had to be at work from 3 to 11, and I could have help raising the kids in the evening, and we could raise the family together in that time, and it would give me more time to spend with her, but then also to work on my business, right? So I knew clearly how that would feel. I got in that moment of knowing how that would feel, so I was very clear on that. So once that's done, I had to clearly identify my priorities in every single action and thing I was doing in my day. So I had to make a list. Things I'm doing, things that are priorities. So, you know, priorities are raising my 3 girls at that time. You know, priority was give Gabby a date night once a week, or give her a movie night once a week. Going to my job was a priority. I had to go to my job, so that's a priority because I needed to pay the bills while I'm building this business online. So there was other things on the other side of things that I did in my every day, and that's what I want you guys to do, is split the paper down the middle, have this is what I do, these are my priorities, and then make sure that your daily actions align with, and your activities align with what you want with your end goal. So, you know, for me, there was softball games, there was Call of Duty nights, there was band, there was all of these things that I was doing in my day-to-day life. There was a nap at lunch, which I felt I needed, but it was something I could take out. So I had to put a red line through all the things that didn't line up with my end goal of bringing my wife home from work. So I know if you guys do that, you're going to find that you have a lot of blocks of time where you're doing something that doesn't align with your end goal or your purpose right now. So some of those things you can do later after you build the life of your dreams, but if you're behind on your bills, you're in debt, you're stressed out, you're working too many hours, you're living paycheck to paycheck, that is the time where you need to get real with yourself and say, should I be in the PTO? Should I be the scout leader? Should I be the soccer coach? Should I be doing all these things? So like I love all of those things, I love all those roles, but those at that time didn't align with my end goal of bringing my wife home from work. So I had to get clear with myself on that and realize that as I built the business and I spent all of that time on building my business, keeping my family happy and working my job, and leaving out all the other stuff like video games, like playing softball, hanging out with friends just randomly, going on camping trips, all those things that I love to do, if I could just hold off on those for a year or two, I could do those things whenever I want. So I became clear and honest with myself in that aspect. And that's what you need to do with yourself as well. You know, letting those things go was hard for me. I got made fun of, right? I remember telling my softball team, I can't play softball with you guys anymore. You know, I'm building the business, and everybody laughs and they joke and that's funny, whatever, you know. So it's going to be part of the journey, but you got to be clear on what you want with your life and your journey, because this is your life. This is not their life. So don't let their opinions have an impact on the decisions that you make with what you do with your time, because time is the most valuable asset that you're ever going to have in this life. So be willing to sacrifice some of those things now so that you can have a life that others can't later. How I feel now, I feel no sort of stress whatsoever on the financial, on being too busy, because I've controlled that time management from day one. Now that we have a team of 32,000 coaches, right, and this big business, I am in control of my time. So I'm disciplined. I learned that discipline through that process as a brand new coach, to control my time and my hours now. So what that gives me time to do now is to play more with my band, to write more music, to produce our first album, to now take on a role as a mission leader for our church, and a role as a Sunday school teacher for the 13 and 14-year-old kids. And it gives me the opportunity to go to my daughter's soccer games and take her to practice, and go to their performances and do all those things before that I was not able to do. Last night I played softball with my friends, and that's something that I gave up back then that I absolutely loved. And to show you how much I loved it, that was my dream, was to be a pro baseball player. So to go play softball, it's a feeling of like, it's a rush. It feels so good for me to do that. So I had to give that up, but now I can do those things whenever I decide to. So if you can get clear on your goals and make sure that your actions every single day align with your priorities in life and what you want to accomplish, that's the only way that you're going to be able to stay focused and to block out times to do that. And you're going to be so much more relaxed and so much less anxiety when you can block out your time. My time, for example, when I did it, was 15 minutes right before I go into work to check on my groups. My hour lunch that I stopped taking a nap in my car, I literally took a quilt out into my car to sleep in the winter, because we're in Idaho.